Yeah, we bring reviews of your house, talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house, wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house, we keeps it cool in your house, we keeps it cool in your house. I'm spitting truths in your house. Yes, Mark's hating on his fans, Becky Nish on the man. Play with two like alliance, household a dangerous alliance. I am an like Cody, and I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critique, and I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing.
It's all about podcasts these days.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you're listening to the In Your House podcast. This is Austin Theory of Evolve, and you're listening to the In Your House podcast.
This is AEW's Darby Allin, and you're listening to In Your House podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakon House. This is the People's Podcast. Haha. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy Khan, ready to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. That is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let me let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. And ooh, where is the clock? I'm checking the time because last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, because we hit them with that work, round the clock. You guys already know what it is. Oh, once again, the director is in the building, and man, it is Tuesday morning after what was surprisingly a good Raw. I didn't get a chance to catch all of it like I wanted to, but I did go back and check out highlights and read what happened. And man, I'm sad I couldn't make it through the whole show. I've been a little under the weather. So I had to hit up that old NyQuil to try to get a decent night's sleep. So if I sound a little raspy, that is why. I've been dealing with the cough and just all kinds of different things. The season change is killing me. But since I knew that I did not catch all of Monday Night Raw, and my man Hutch is working today, Docs is also doing the same thing. So I brought in a past guest here who you guys have heard on the show before, earlier episodes, before In Your House became, man, what it's become thus far, which is great. And now he does his own professional wrestling podcast. He does a couple of different podcasts, but he does a professional wrestling one, and that one is called Fans Count Anywhere, and that is Jeff Murrey. How's it going, bro?
Man, I guess I should have told you before we started the show that no need to pitch me, okay? I don't know if anybody knows that's listening, but I guess, is it okay to announce that you invited me to the team to work with you guys? Or?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like the kid on the playground. I got picked last, you know? Hutch couldn't make it today. Con called in his ugly step-cousin. Here I am, so...
No, man,
yeah,
no.
But
I really appreciate you coming through and talking about Monday Night Raw for you. And yes, you are part of the team. We are going to be hitting real quick. I'm sorry, Jeff. We are going to be hitting Heroes and Legends this weekend in Chicago. Huge show.
Oh, man.
Should be a great time. And This is actually going to be Jeff's debut, coming out and helping the team and stuff, and setting up and tearing down and talking on the pod and doing all that type of stuff. We've been doing it for a little bit, but Jeff, like myself, he's a family man, and of course family comes first. And it's great that we was able to make it happen to bring you to this event and kind of show you what we do and get you kind of acclimated to what we do, so that way moving forward you could be a lot more hands on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like a kid in the candy store. You guys are bringing me in, and I'm going to get to – I mean, you guys are – I mean, is it okay to announce who you're going to be talking to, or do we want to wait on that?
Let's wait on that. Because I really want to hit them hard. I really want to hit them hard with it when they find out who we got.
All right, yeah. Well, it's somebody good, so everybody stay tuned. Definitely.
We got a couple good ones, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm Raw. Watched it last night. I don't know what happened. Like I got home early and I was just like, you know what? I'll torture myself. But it wasn't torture. Yeah. It was surprisingly a good show. And
I agree, man.
I don't get to say that a lot about WWE anymore, so I think a lot of us feel that way, but it seems like they did almost everything right, for a show,
with that, man.
As far as I'm concerned.
I agree with that. I do, because they got me started right out of the gate, which is what you got to do. I mean, you got to have a start, man. You got to begin this thing. You got to start it off strong, and the way they started it off with Brock and Paul Heyman coming out, Brock on Monday Night Raw, which I'm gonna give my hats off to Brock, because everybody says, "Oh, part-time champ." He's been prevalent on TV for the last couple weeks, so let's knock that off a little bit, guys. I totally understand about the part-time champion. I totally get it, but Brock's been there and he's been making the appearances. So, excuse me. He starts off the show with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman says, by the time the night is over, Brock will commit a felony on Rey Mysterio, man. Basically saying that tonight is the funeral of his career. What was you thinking when you heard that promo, bro?
The promo was just perfect. I mean, they're threatening fans during the promo, all the little guys. Rey Mysterio's a little guy,
Yeah.
And I was wondering for a long time, like, are they ever going to do anything special with Rey again? But it's like, I actually think that this is right up Rey Mysterio's alley, having him up against Brock Lesnar.
For sure.
So, I'll tell you, I will say this. The only thing I don't want to see, last time Rey won a WWE title, he dedicated to Eddie. It's all good and everything. I don't want to see him go that route again with this. I want this to just be Rey doing this for his son. Keep it simple. Don't bring Eddie Guerrero into this. We know Eddie Guerrero beat Lesnar back in the day,
Yeah.
It's possible Rey could take the title off Brock. I know that everybody that says, oh, well, that's not believable, they're going to have an issue with it. But,
sure.
But I think it makes perfect sense for the story. That whole segment, Paul Heyman just being the mouthpiece, you always have gold when Heyman's on the mic. So
absolutely,
I was happy with it. It grabbed my attention, like you said, just straight out of the gate, it grabbed my attention.
And that's what you got to do, man. That is what you got to do. You have to jump out at me. Keep me off my phone is what we say all the time on this show. If you can keep me off my phone during your segment, your match, or whatever, in my eyes, in my personal opinion, then you mission accomplished. That is what I want, and they did that. And I think it was a good vibe, a good feel. Definitely, everybody's mad about how things are going with the whole brand split and everything, and how now all of a sudden Brock Lesnar is now on Raw just because he said so. And it's like, well, I'm good with it. Because at least they tried to make some sense of it. I totally understand what everybody's talking about, oh, well, now that he got drafted to SmackDown, now he's just going to automatically be on Raw. But at least they gave us something to go with. So I really don't have any problem with it, and I really like how throughout the night, you really saw Brock and mainly that first hour and a half or around that time, first hour, they really centered everything around Brock trying to find Rey Mysterio Jr. And it's crazy because later on in the night, Rey Mysterio Jr. found Brock Lesnar, bro.
I know, and that was just that was cool in itself. I got a little scared during that part though, because I'm thinking for a minute like, don't give Jerry Lawler an F5,
Yeah. Don't do
Like-
that. Don't do. Man, that everything that Heyman said to Lawler about, you better tell us where he is or else you'll die on air again. And I was like, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah. I mean, it was really crazy. The whole thing was, and I'll tell you too, I don't mean to jump away from it, but the tag team, as far as tag team wrestling goes in WWE, I'm really happy with the women's tag team that we got to see last night.
Yes.
I mean, Charlotte Flair and Natalya makes sense to me as like contenders.
Yeah, for
know,
sure.
for the tag titles. So I was just sitting there like, wow, like I can really get behind this. This is a good match, even though they're still running the Brock stuff going on,
Yeah, for sure. But the match itself was pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely was.
I enjoyed
So
the match.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. I was just saying, I just hope they continue with it and
Yeah.
that it just keeps going really well, for them.
Oh yeah, I think that it has been. I think that it's been going pretty well. I think that match was well. Honestly, I thought that was a good match. And the ladies, they've got a few things going on. On the show, which we'll get to that. But on a night where we saw Seth Rollins coming out and saying he doesn't know what's next for him, Triple H comes out, and man, that was a pretty intense segment.
Bro, I did not mean to branch off a wrestling discussion, but I made a pizza before you called, right?
Yeah.
And I was sitting down to eat it, and my cat, it's a cat, it's not a dog, stole my pizza, and it's gone, man.
Oh, wow.
The cat stole the pizza, and I don't know where the cat is or the pizza.
Well, obviously,
So I'm having
wherever the cat is, the pizza's there, too.
Man, I just don't want to clean up cat puke later. I'm living in these are real-world problems.
Yes.
WWE gives us enough real-world problems from time to time. But they didn't, that's the whole point, though, man. They didn't the other night. They actually put on a good show. And it's like I actually, I've talked about this before, but like NXT going up against Raw and SmackDown, the Survivor Series, it's kind of like that gift you didn't know that you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're not really thinking about it, and then it happens, and you're like, oh, yeah, like that's cool. And, to give NXT some credibility, too, because, it's going to help them improve their show. Get more viewers watching NXT on Wednesday to see if, hey, who knows, maybe somebody from Raw and SmackDown might show up on NXT.
Exactly. And then boom, I mean they've lost in the ratings every single week to AEW, in my opinion, for a good reason.
5 times now.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
5 times now.
So
And
maybe they want to do
6.
something. It's probably going to be 6, but maybe they want to do something to maybe bring a Seth Rollins on NXT. Maybe bring a Roman Reigns there. They want options to be able to bring these guys over to NXT to help that rating spike.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Brock Lesnar come and destroy Matt Riddle, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if we'll ever get that.
Oh man, I definitely want to see those two go at it. Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle. Actually, Matt Riddle tweeted something out about what he did on Friday when they went and came for Sami Zayn, and basically said this should have been you, Brock. I was like, oh man, he's been chasing around Brock Lesnar for a while.
Yeah, he doesn't stop calling his shot.
He sure doesn't. I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it.
No, I don't either. Matt Riddle's a good kid. I like him a lot.
Oh yeah, he is pretty. He's dope, man. And we saw a lot of NXT talent last night during that Triple H segment, that Triple H and Seth Rollins segment, to correct myself. And basically the new, the Undisputed Era crashes the party. The OC's out there. Dominic Dijakovic, Damian Priest, and the Raw mid-carders get involved, man, and it turns into another brawl.
Well, for me, just kind of the fan in me, when I got to see the OC and the Undisputed Era coming face-to-face,
yeah,
it's like those guys have been beefing on social media for a while, so,
it's
to
good
actually
to
see them
too,
like...
Yeah, come together in the same spot and the same time in the ring.
Yeah, and you just really get that feeling like, and honestly, I may have been given the best gift ever because I thought I canceled my WWE Network last month.
Yeah.
Well, they charged my card just the other day. I guess I forgot to cancel my subscription, but then I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'll let it ride out this month because Survivor Series might actually be good.
Yes, man. There's some decent matches, man, and Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar. Everybody's saying, and I hear them, they're saying that because Kofi Kingston got eviscerated so easily, why should we believe that Rey has a chance? And I get it. I totally get that and totally understand. But man, this Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar feud is giving me mad, Ruthless Aggression 2005, 2006 SmackDown feels. You know what I mean?
Right. And, for me, the best part of the whole night for me was Becky Lynch meeting Shayna Baszler. That promo.
Oh, yes. Those two going face to face, yes.
That was just like the perfect part of the whole wrestling show for me because I got to thinking like, okay, you're telling me a Survivor Series, you're going to give me the NXT champion, the Raw champion, and the SmackDown champion in the same match. But the highlight was where Shayna's like, I'm not Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And like when she said it, I was like, I believe you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you're gonna freaking hurt somebody, man. Like that's how I felt. Like she was so convincing. Convincing.
Because I do believe Shayna Baszler. Look at her track record of what she's done in NXT. I mean, she has beaten everybody. She's beaten everybody and been champion for a very, very long time. I can't even put a set amount of numbers on it on the days, but I know she's been champion for a long time, and she's legit in every which way you put it. She's legitimate. So, and she's been worked. Like the problem with Rousey was that they brought her in and she wasn't ready to go. You know what I mean? She was like not to say that she couldn't carry herself in a match because she did have some good matches. But she wasn't as ready. She wasn't as ready as Shayna is. Shayna is ready to go. She's ready for this spot. She's carried the NXT Women's Division, that torch, for a very long time. So you got New Bayley involved. You got the man Becky Lynch, and you got Shayna Baszler. Like that match can go any which way you put it. It's a good match with three solid women.
Well, Shayna just giving her that subtle dig of, like, how she even beat Rousey for the title without even saying it.
Right, right.
But she's basically looking at her saying, like, I promise you, I will pin you or I will submit you. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you will. Like, I believe you.
I believe everything that you're saying. Yep, I believe everything that you are saying.
I believe at the end of Survivor Series, we're going to see the NXT Women's Champion with her hand raised high.
And I wouldn't be mad at all. That'd be great for NXT. That'd be great for Shayna Baszler.
No, very good for her. I think Survivor Series, all in all, I know this is a Raw show, but definitely a show that's getting us pumped for Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series is going to be something worth watching this year. It's going to be like that classic feel like you used to have with Survivor Series. I'm going to get me some turkey made up.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the pumpkin pie. And I'm going to be watching NXT try to destroy Raw and SmackDown.
Yes,
because, take the focus off the Wednesday Night Wars for right now. And this is just where Vince McMahon is so brilliant. Like, I'm going to say it. Like, yeah, he makes me mad. And when he's not interested in the product, it shows.
Yeah.
But when he is interested, it really shows.
I agree.
And right now, I feel like it's like you said it many times. And before I was even brought onto the In Your House team, I'm just a hardcore fan. I listen to every single show, every single morning.
Right.
And you said it many times, like, this is just the best time to be a wrestling fan, and you're not lying.
It is.
You're not lying. There's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan. And I know that's big to say because you think about all the great things that have happened in wrestling, in our lifetime, but
for sure,
this is just monumental. They're breaking barriers here, I mean, I'm not a fan of the crown jewel stuff,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I mean, but you got to think of it this way. When that women's match happened, yeah, it looked a little ridiculous to us over here in the States, but think about the young little girls that were sitting in that crowd in Saudi.
Oh, for sure.
And they're probably
That's
thinking
huge.
in their head like, oh man, like I can grow up and do something with my life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So WWE, like, yeah, Vince is all about the money, but I do believe he's getting back into being about the product. I mean, call me crazy. But
I really think that the women wrestling over in Saudi was great. It was a huge moment for women's wrestling, for women over there in Saudi Arabia. It's I mean, for a culture that's so far behind us, it's easy for us to look at the situation and think, oh well, it was just Lacey Evans versus Natalya, or what was those? You know, they had to wear a full bodysuit. That's ridiculous. Or oh, they're going over there for the Saudis' blood money, which is how an American would see it. But think about it from the perspective of a fan in Saudi Arabia, especially a female fan in Saudi Arabia, being able to see this and see what you know, there's a possibility, there's a chance. Like, sometimes we take for granted how much we actually have and what people in other cultures actually don't have. And for them, it was a momentous occasion, man. You know what I mean?
Man, you couldn't have said that any better. That's the truth. I hope that WWE keeps doing positive things like that, whether if it's intentional or unintentional. I want to see a lot more of that. I'm guessing, too, and this is speculating, are you a pretty big fan of the Street Profits, or no?
I like the Street Profits. I do. I really loved them in NXT, and I really wanted them to, I really wanted to, once they came over to Raw, I liked that they were kind of like narrating the show or being at the top of the show and stuff like that. But there was so many weeks that went by where they weren't wrestling, and I was like, these guys need to get in the ring. Like, they're talking about they want all the smoke, but they haven't been in one match, and they've been on Raw for like 2 months. So that, you know, short answer is yes, I do like the Street Profits.
Yeah, and you know, I guess my whole issue, the only issue that I had with Raw, was that match with the Street Profits and Carrillo in the OC.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because, you know, it felt like they were building the Street Profits up to be something, like, amazing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the match just felt kind of deflated for me. And this new cat, Carrillo, I'll be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about him.
Yeah.
I see him, and I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe you're kind of booking him to be, like, a hero type, but he never wins. Like, I don't understand that, you know?
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't get what you're doing with him. I don't understand any of that. So for me, that was probably the lowest of the night for me that I felt for the show. Except I would say that, like, when the Viking Raiders had their tag match, I was like, well, okay, yeah, whatever. You know, I could have got up and went and got me a Mexican Coke out of the fridge or something like that, and opened up my little glass bottle and chilled for a while in the other room. You know, before I came back in to check to see how that was going.
Right.
The Viking Raiders are great, don't get me wrong. I just wasn't feeling that match really at all. So,
well, it's a squash.
Yeah. And I guess that's just for me, and I've been spoiled on AEW a little bit because it just feels like it's great from start to finish, you know?
Right, yeah.
And they're packing so much in the 2 hours, and when you came to me and said, hey, you know, you can come on and do the podcast, we'll do a Raw show. First I was like, oh. But then, like, they gave us a show. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I want to get this podcast going with Khan, and we're actually going to have something to talk about, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But going back to what you were saying, though, the Rollins and Cole match, I did really enjoy that. That was good for the main event.
Oh, yeah, it was a good main event, and one thing that I gotta say that I'm kind of like on as far, I mean, yeah, of course the squash tag team match that's leading to the triple threat tag team match that's going on in Survivor Series, but man, I gotta say this Rusev, Lashley, and Lana thing, it's just been kind of, I mean, I understand everybody wants, you know, things to be more edgier and to have that kind of soap opera feel, but to me it just feels so out of place in my opinion.
It's really hard to watch. It feels like something that would have worked during the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Yeah.
I feel like WWE is kind of insulting our intelligence right now. In such a desensitized culture. It's more like, I guess if I was in the same situation and then like I found out my girl had been cheating on me, I'd be mad about it, sure, but I wouldn't be mad about it for weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
Know what I mean?
For sure.
I get over it eventually, and then I would move on my way, and try to put my life back together. And they kind of just keep it going on, and I'm like, I'm not. And like when Randy Orton came out and delivered the RKO, then I felt like, okay, like this feels more like you're setting something up for Survivor Series now.
Right.
So we see that this storyline isn't really doing much for anybody, so we'll just transition off this storyline and jump into setting up a Survivor Series match.
Right. I agree with that. I think that I really think that the whole situation is they want to because they should do some kind of blow off with Lashley and Rusev. Like, as much as they've carried on for the last few weeks, it's not like they could just kill the feud, you know what I mean? So there has to be some sort of conclusion, some sort of close to it, just so people aren't like, oh, well, what happened to that, which is what WWE has been known to do, is just stop and stop things, stop stories, and then we're like, whoa, what happened with that? And you never know, you never know. So there has to be some sort of blow off with it. They have to close it out. They have to close it out somehow, and
But how do you close it out? I mean, let's play armchair promoter here or whatever. If you were going to close this out right now, how would you write it to end it? Because I feel like they've backed themselves into a corner to where it's going to suck no matter what they do.
Right.
You
right.
know?
Well, I guess if you, since you're right, and it is going to suck no matter really what you do. What I would do is this: to close it out, I would have a match between Bobby Lashley being managed by Lana, going up against Rusev, and have some sort of like I don't know, contract ladder match, I guess, or just a match or whatever that says if Lashley wins, then Lana gets half of Rusev's possessions or whatever, paycheck and whatever in the divorce. But if Rusev wins, then they have a clean divorce where he doesn't have to give her anything, and they move on from that, and boom, boom, and just split ways. That's off the top of my head, that's the only way I could think of to do it, because there's really no way you can do it to blow this off to where it's not going to be kind of like anticlimactic.
I guess, like, if it was me, like, what I would do, I would try to somehow make Rusev look like the bad guy. Like,
well,
really make him look like the bad guy.
Well, she's already kind of doing that.
Right, but nobody believes it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I would try to figure out a way to make it more believable. Like, maybe have some kind of backstage interview with Lashley where Lashley is like, hey, man, like, she came to me. Like, I didn't go to break this up and everything. And then you find out, like, a week later or something, there's some kind of videotape of Rusev cheating on her or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And then maybe just end it that way. And then after that, who knows what Lana's going to do? Because, I mean, I don't think they're going to keep her with Lashley forever, and they're running out of ideas for her, so.
Yeah, she's definitely attractive enough to be out there, but she tried being in the ring, and I guess she stopped because I guess it wasn't working out. So what more can you do with Lana? I mean, if she's not going to manage Rusev anymore, if she's going to start managing Lashley, that's going to be cool, but what's going to happen when that runs its course? I guess I don't know. And
they're not going to put her on a broadcast table because they got Renee, and she does a great job. They don't need anybody else with her,
Well, I don't think that Lana knows professional wrestling enough to be able to be at the table, because there's a lot that goes into being at the table, and I just don't think that she knows enough about professional wrestling to be able to be at the commentary table.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely.
It's rough, man. It's rough to say that, but doing commentary, the couple times I've done commentary, like, you have to know professional wrestling to do that, because I'm not insulting her saying that, she's in the business, but I just don't know if she could. I mean, she'd have to study up and stuff, but I don't know if she can call the moves, tell the stories on commentary that you got to tell. There's a lot that goes into it,
Yeah. I would just say just one more thought, man, real quick, with how great that they finally like pulled this trigger on NXT against Raw and SmackDown. Man, it was necessary. Like, it was something that needed to happen because, you know, NXT's been kind of depicted as the lower brand,
Yeah.
you know, for quite some time. And you got to show that it's an equal brand, especially right now that they're in the Wednesday Night War, you know, with All Elite Wrestling. And you have All Elite Wrestling wrestlers, you know, going on social media and saying, like, hey, like, NXT's the minor leagues, you know. Got Kenny Omega calling them out. Got Jericho calling them out. And I think this is just a big step for them to show that, like, hey, if you do turn the channel over from AEW to NXT, you're going to see something special. And to NXT's credit, even though they've lost 5 in a row to AEW, I went back and rewatched those NXTs, man, and they were all fire, all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Oh, yeah. They're putting on a great show.
So to have a great show that's losing, you know, that's got to be frustrating. And I think that going forward, NXT is only going to continue to get better, and it's going to make AEW raise their game, if that was even something that we were even thinking about, you know.
Man, yeah. That's the thing. That's why we say all the time here that it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, because it really and truly is. And to be able to have these options, to have all these alternatives that we have, and people are talking about wrestling more now, like publicly out in the open, when it was like, I just remember back in the day, it was like, you watch wrestling, and you still get that, but it's not like how it used to be with that. You know, it used to be like, you could have gone anywhere and been like, oh, you still watch wrestling? But there's actually some places I go where people will either be like, oh, really? Why do you still watch it? What do you like about it? Or people be like, oh, yeah, I've checked out, I've still been checking out WWE. Or even some people that was like, man, I really got out of wrestling because I didn't like what WWE was doing, but I started watching again when I heard of that AEW thing, you know? So it's like, it's a booming time, man.
You're absolutely right. And I cannot wait for tonight. Because like you said, it's just a booming time to be a wrestling fan. You know, I'm going to get to watch some more wrestling tonight. We're going to get all week long. You know, just pick a day. You know?
For sure.
You can watch wrestling all week long. And it's just a wonderful time. And I know you and I both hate doing the grind, going to our job and everything. But one thing I enjoy about being at work when I'm on my lunch break, because I get to pick my hour when I want to go to lunch.
For sure.
So if I'm at work on a Tuesday, I'm usually sitting in my car watching NWA.
Yeah, NWA
on my
Power.
smartphone.
Exactly. Or if you want to go an hour later, you can watch AEW Dark.
Yep, and I can just chill on my lunch break at work, watch some free programming, and it's absolutely free. You can watch it on YouTube.
Yep.
You know? So just a great, great time to be a wrestling fan, man. And, hey, I want to thank you, man, so much just for having me back on the show. It's been cool. Said at the top of it, hey, I'm sorry I'm not Hutch. Sorry I'm not Docs. Tom brought in the ugly step cousin today.
No, man, no. It's all equal. It's all equal love here, man. I do appreciate you coming on, and definitely look forward to this Saturday when we go to Heroes and Legends in Chicago in what is one of the greatest wrestling towns in the United States. Always great. Yeah, always good. Always good to be in that environment where people truly love and truly appreciate wrestling. So we're going to be looking to do the Chicago story part 2. Since I'll be on the passenger side here, we'll be able to do a podcast. I'll bring my little mic that I have right here. That I have.
Nice.
Yes, I have it right here in my hands, just like what we did to do parts of the Chicago story part 1. Highly downloaded series, Chicago Story Part 1 and 2. Part 1 was in the hotel room. Part 2 was on the trip back to Indiana where we talked MLW. And it was a great time. We're looking to do that again, man. Which
I'm actually becoming a fan of now. I know I wasn't on board with MLW in the beginning, but I'm starting to dig it now, man. I'll be honest with you. And history making. Can I just say this real quick?
Sure.
The Von Erichs won the tag titles. I mean, how big is that?
Oh, they won them at the they won them at that pay-per-view in Cicero?
Yes, man. They won it from Dynasty.
Awesome.
And if you know anything about the Von Erich story, oh my God, you could do like a whole 2-hour podcast on just the Von Erichs alone.
Oh God, yeah. That's a wrestling
family.
So
just a big time to be a wrestling fan right now. So
it's awesome, man. It's awesome. Those guys look incredible, great shape, and learning the sport, just as well as they should. So, man, go ahead, and this is your floor, man, to plug anything that you would like to plug. Social medias, pods,
dude.
anything. It's your time, man. Go ahead and plug away.
At the top of the show about my little side gig. If you guys want to check that out, feel free to. But I just want to say, right now, my focus for today, I'm gonna plug your podcast here now that I'm a part of this team. Okay.
Sure.
So just listen to the In Your House podcast, because they're everywhere. Like Con said, if anywhere you want to listen, man, they have it for you. Any device, just think it up in your head, and it's just gonna appear like magic out of nowhere. So just listen to the In Your House podcast. How does that saying go? You said it's get on or get gone.
That's right. Get on and get gone.
The podcast is going strong.
That's facts,
there
bro.
It is.
That is
there
facts,
it is,
bro.
Man.
And guys, definitely go. As you can see, I posted on my social media. When you guys go back, I posted on my social media the episode that dropped Tuesday morning. When you guys listen to this, it'll be 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. Dropped a episode featuring hip-hop artist Case Kane and the host of the Squared Circle City show, Indie Mike. And on that link, you can see that we are trying to get a write-in ballot going for the Wrestling Podcast Awards. So go to the link. It's a Google document, you guys. Go and write In Your House and all the topics or all the categories. Put us there. Let people know. Even if we don't win, just make a little noise on behalf of In Your House and let them know that we're one of the hottest podcasts in the Midwest, and definitely let them know. And I want to thank Jeff for coming on, man, taking some time out of his morning before we both have to end up going to work. And man, I just want to thank you for taking some time out and coming on the show and talking a little wrestling with me, bro. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, no problem, man. And I went on and voted myself for the podcast awards. I just want to say it's so cool that they have those.
Yes, I love that.
I didn't even know it was a thing until recently, but really cool.
It was brought to my attention by promoter and professional wrestler Mike King of DCCW. By the way, guys, another thing I want to touch on before we hop off of here, because we definitely have to make sure we shout out our great sponsors. So I want to take a second to shout out Dragon Horge Coin and Gaming. Dragon Horge is the premier store for Magic coins in Central Indiana. If you live in Central Indiana, come check out the store and play some in-store games. If you aren't from there, hit up the Facebook page at Dragon Horge Coin and Gaming. That's Dragon Horge Coin, letter N, Gaming, to contact them about buying your stuff. They're always buying coins, magic cards, silver, and of course gold. And if you don't know how to play Magic, they will teach you. It's a very cool and chill place. Cool. And another thing I want to bring up about that is, of course, we plan to get back to it, and hopefully we can have Jeff there for our Thursday live Facebook Live pod that we plan to give to you guys every single Thursday from Dragon Horge. A lot of cool things coming up for In Your House, guys. We're blessed and definitely ready for all the opportunity that's coming our way. But once again, man, thank you for taking out the time, and hopefully we can see you Thursday, and everybody in the household can see you, man, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I gotta get there anyways and give Docs a hug. He's a Chicago native, right? Or is that Cleveland?
Cleveland. He's the Cleveland cat. Cleveland Street Tough.
Yeah, I'm guessing he don't like Chicago too much. I don't know.
Oh, worst town he's ever been to. Oh, man.
All right, man.
But all right, man. Yes, this was a great episode. But, guys, you know what we do. It's what we do every single time. What is it? I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's get out. Work. So let me let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. check us out. November 20th, AEW is coming to the Coliseum in Indianapolis, and In Your House will be in the building. Oh yes, November 30th, Thanksgiving Thunder, DCCW back on the commentary table, and who is going to be the next guest on Khan's Hollywood Talk of Fame? Well, stay tuned and find out. Guys, get a shirt. What are you doing? That's www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Get this work. Get this shirt. And we tell you this all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get gone. Because the household, well, we going strong. You guys have a great day. And a great rest of your week. Peace.